Should you retire when markets are going down, or are you literally just shooting yourself in the foot and you should work a little bit longer so that you can spend what you'd really want for the rest of your life? There's a financial phrase for this that advisors will say so they get to feel super smart, which is sequence of return risk, which is basically, how do I make sure my retirement is still okay even if I'm unlucky? What if markets go down? What if healthcare expenses go up? What if I want to spend more on travel? Some of these things are in your control. You can decide if you want to travel more in the earlier years of your retirement. You can decide how early you retire. But there are some things out of your control, which is, look, you can invest and have the right allocation, whether it be 60% equities and 40% fixed income, or 80% equities, 20% fixed income, or obviously any mix at all. But markets are going to do what they're going to do, and I don't need you worrying unnecessarily about some things that are out of your control. So yes, you can determine how many equities you have. You can determine exactly how much CDs or cash or safe money you want to be sitting on. But there becomes a point where paralysis analysis, or analysis paralysis, I forget which one goes first there, becomes top of mind, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know what I don't know. I'm too worried. Markets, headlines, politics, I'm scared. I'm just going to keep working. And I see way too much of that, and that is my pet peeve. I have a lot of pet peeves. Slow drivers in the left lane. When people are like, I can retire on $6,000 a month. It's like, I'm sure you can. Is that what you'd love to spend? When people go, ooh, I don't know if I should retire now. Markets aren't doing well. There's always going to be a reason not to retire. And so I want you to be honest with yourself. If you're considering a retirement and now going, ooh, markets are being volatile, and you're debating whether or not that means you should retire, then you're already behind. And the reason I say that, I promise I'm never mean, okay? I will joke that I'm the meanest advisor because I never want anyone to retire too early and run the risk of running out. And I don't want someone to retire too late and be mad at me if they're 80 with 20 million bucks going, I wish I didn't have 20 million. I wish I retired earlier and spent more time with family and friends. And there's a balancing act there. The point here is when it comes to retirement planning, it is about confidence. And I had someone that said, how can you guarantee I'll always be okay? I said, well, you could work till you're 90. And they're like, well, I don't want to do that. I'm like, I don't want you to do that either. So don't do I'm going to wait till I have 2 million, 3 million, one more bonus, one more year. Just make sure that your plan is allowing you so that if you're the most unlucky person ever, you're still not going to run out of money. Let me show you an example, and I'm really picky about when I even show a graph because it's really easy. I was shadowing an advisor years ago, and they showed this couple 1,000 graphs, and they're falling half asleep, and they're so bored and not engaged that it's not impactful. So I'm really careful when I show any graph. There's one I'm going to show you, and I'm going to show it to you right now, and then I'm going to explain how to interpret this in English. Hey everyone, just real quick, please, please, please be smart about this. All of the information that I talk about on these videos / podcasts should not be construed as financial advice. Please consult with a financial professional or CPA or attorney before actually executing anything that I say in these videos. Love you guys, and thank you for supporting the channel. Look at this right here. I had someone ask me, a client, Ari, what if another 2008 type of event occurs? And I was like, that's great news. Let's plan for it. And they're like, you're weirdly excited. Is there something that's going to happen that I don't know about? I said, no, I just want to make sure you don't retire and go, oh my gosh, I can't go buy appetizers anymore because I got unlucky when markets went down. And they're like, okay, go on. So this is a cool chart, and I could do this chart with any of you, but this example is, let's assume you retire January 1st, 2007. And I'm picking that because I wanted to show a big downturn, okay? So here's someone that has $2 million. I'm just giving 3 situations. Ready? So the first one is a 50-50 blend. 50% equities, 50% fixed income. The next one, green, is all stocks. So you can see they started with 2 million in 2007. Beginning of 2009, 2 years later, they have less than $1 million. That 2 million's become $924,000, okay? Now, the light blue up here, this is all bonds. So the 50-50 blend is this, all stocks is green, all bonds is light blue. What are these little divots here? These divots is me sending them income. So I'm telling this software, if they have $2 million, they want $120,000 every single year, no matter what. I'm going to send it to them. here's what would happen. So if they retired in 2007, what you could see is the bonds, the all cash, all bonds, it's slowly decreasing over time, but it's the best. You're in first place the first 5 years, then it's decreasing, and by right now, you would have about $300,000 in that account. Now, if you were all stocks, 2 years in, you would be down over $1 million. You'd have $924,000. Now, to today, you'd be in first place with 2.7. And then the middle option here, the blend, you can see you're certainly down. Your 2 million became 1.4 million. But then it actually was the leading portfolio for a very long time until stocks had a big rally, which you can still see you participated in. But now here you are with 1.5 million, about, you can see from 2007, not quite 20 years, but hopefully you see what I'm showing here, which is the reason that we invest in stocks is they grow over time. But do we want to invest so heavily in stocks that if they don't do well, that changes how much we can spend? And what you can see here is here's someone who retired at pretty much the worst possible time, and markets did awful, and they were still okay. So if any of you are wondering, would my portfolio recover? It would recover, but you'd be going through some downturns like this where you might be losing sleep, where you're like, I lost 50% of my value over 2 years, and I just worked 40 years for this. Oh my gosh. Well, this is good to see, but it does not go deep enough. And I'm going to give you an example why. This is me assuming they're going to spend $120,000 every single year, no matter what. And you can still see they were okay. I don't recommend doing something like that with my clients. I recommend spending a little bit less when markets are down and spending more when markets are doing well. Let me show you an example. So the original setting here, really simple. I said start it in 2007 until today. They have $2 million. They want to withdraw $120,000 every single year. Now, I could not do a fixed amount, but I can do a fixed percentage. I could say we're going to do 4% of the portfolio, and I could analyze that, and let's see what it does. Well, what you can see is this is now very different. And the reason it's very different is they're not taking $120,000 every year no matter what. They're taking 4% of their portfolio, which if you've watched my videos, you'll know I don't like the 4% rule because it's designed on a 30-year retirement. It's not designed to be dynamic. And it's been proven that if you do a guardrails approach, which is shifting income based off what markets are doing, you can take between 5 and 5.5% of your portfolio, and that income will last for 40 years, which is way more applicable. So you can see in this example, the green is still all stocks. Now, they were still down 50% in 2009, but what you can see is the recovery and how much they have left over is way greater than before. All stocks is at 5 million. The 50-50 blend is at 3.2. Even the all bonds, all cash portfolio, which I do not recommend, the all bond portfolio, even after 20 years, you can see it's at 1.6 million. So what's the point of this? Don't use a fixed dollar amount. Use a dynamic withdrawal rate. Use a percentage. Look at how much more successful this is compared to the last graph I showed. Was this helpful? I hope it just made one thing click, because so many people go, what if I retire at the most unlucky time and I'm just, oh my gosh, it all comes for me all at once. Okay, well, what I would encourage you to do is maybe spend a little bit less. Don't not take a trip, but I'll have someone who goes, I want to retire early, but I don't want to spend on travel because markets are down significantly. If a 2008 event occurred with a client, I would likely say, hey, I still want you to take trips, but maybe let's take 3 instead of 5. And then if you're willing, when markets recover, we'll take even more. So I'm not saying don't enjoy experiences. You've worked hard. Don't just go, I'm not going to spend any money, markets are down. Be dynamic and be willing to shift this. We call this at root reserves. How do we make sure we have enough safe money so no matter what's happening, we know we're going to be okay? I gave you 3 simple examples: all stocks, all bonds, or 50-50. So this side, or this side. That's not how you do it in real life. In real life, you build a custom allocation so that you can see outcomes like this, and they're even better. It's how can you start with $2 million and take 4-5% out of your portfolio knowing you're never going to run out of money and still do everything you want to do. So this is me trying to eliminate some of this head trash of, hey, what if I get unlucky when markets go down and I still retire? And the title of this video was, should I consider pushing back retirement? Should I not retire because markets are being volatile? They're going to continue to be volatile throughout retirement. And so if you learn the lesson early on in your retirement, you should probably lick your lips and be very happy because you would have learned, oh, here's what it's going to feel like when I am retired and markets go down. I know I'm going to be okay. I know I need to be patient, and I know I need to shift these things. So hopefully this was helpful in thinking through this. Finally, I almost forgot. If you want to retire early and you're in a good financial spot to do so, great. But if you don't have a friend that you can retire early with, or a spouse, or someone that you're going to hang out with, it's just not going to be as enjoyable. So I encourage you to find another friend, even share this video if you want to retire early with them, so you have a more impactful, purposeful, fun retirement. If, once again, you're looking for a holistic approach to tackle your financial situation, so you don't have a new job in retirement, trying to manage, are markets doing well? What about tax strategy? What about healthcare? Which account do I pull from? That's why people hire us here at Root, and I encourage you to reach out. You can find all of that in the description below in this episode. Thanks, guys.